My nose clean?
Yes.
Okay.
Where's the mic?
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back from the weekend. Happy Monday. And welcome back to a brand new episode of Point of View. Willie is back at the table with us today. Welcome. Woo!
Hey, Willie.
Okay. Did you know women are facing, black women specifically, are facing a third straight month of high unemployment, according to recent data? And what's going on with Meagan Good and Jonathan Majors? Allegedly, she's the one paying all the bills, including his child support.
Lord.
Yeah. Then later in Girlfriend's Guide, we're asking, is colorism still a thing in 2025? Or have we finally evolved past it? We have a lot to get into today, so pull up a seat and join the discussion because you're watching, darlings, POV. Okay, let's talk about it because the numbers aren't lying. However, Willie has some numbers here, so we're going to see what he's talking about. But for the third straight month in a row, that straight month, black women are leading in something we never asked for. The highest unemployment rate in the country, although the highest educated in the country. And no, this isn't just a coincidence. DEI programs are being slashed left and right. Government jobs are disappearing, and the very systems that were supposed to help us climb are now pushing us out. So when the doors keep closing, are we expected to keep building our own alone? That's a very good question. I'd like to know what y'all think about this.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say to the question, when the doors keep closing, we all know the popular saying, when God closes a door, he opens a window. Y'all supposed to say it. I guess y'all didn't know that.
Amen.
I thought it was when one door closes, another one opens.
Yeah, no, but we like to say when, God closed the door, he opened a window. That's what the saints say anyway. So I want to say I do believe clearly the statistics are there. I know quite a few black women as well that are currently unemployed. But what I do also recognize in the ones that I know is that there's something that's also being birthed in them in this season. And so I do believe that God is really opening the window. And what I hope, even for the ones that I'm close to, is that all of the loyalty and the job experience that they have learned on these white people job, if they can just pull it out of themselves and apply it to their own businesses, maybe we can really make some leeway here.
So they're not actually jobless. They are entrepreneurs.
No, they're jobless, and maybe entrepreneurship is being birthed out of them.
Oh, okay.
Right now, no, they can be entrepreneurs if they'll go ahead and birth that thing out.
Okay.
So let me bring up my statistics because this is here. So the rate that unemployment rate is 5.8%, and that is high. But I want this to be understood. Has any of you guys received a poll that polled you to ask you whether you were employed or not? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. This shows you the small percentage of people that they actually poll is and they give you the statistics to create this whole narrative that Black women are not being served properly. In summary, approximately 17% of all Black women are in the process of starting a business, higher than white women at 10% and white men at 15%. Around 39% of all Black-owned businesses are ran by women. And so I want to bring these facts because although we may have data that shows us an increase, I don't believe that they're polling people who are entrepreneurs. I believe it's polling individuals who are literally looking for jobs. And you didn't get the poll because who gets the poll? When I see these data numbers, they use a small pool and valuables to be able to do it. So I'm all for it. I get it. It sounds absolutely horrible, but I do believe that Black women are out there just doing something different, and the data has just not caught up to it.
Well, I'm sorry, really quick.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. But I did want to say just to what you were saying as far as how are they polling this or how are they coming up with these stats. I don't know about any poll that's being sent out or how they're getting these numbers for this consensus or whatever it is, but I would imagine that they're probably getting it from the rise in Black women that were at one point maybe not eligible for a lot of these services that are now having to apply for them, because the Black women that I know, they were people that never got even things like food stamps. And right now, all of them have food stamps. So they could be getting it from the ones that are now applying for these public services.
Well, they use data systems like census, right? The Census Bureau that comes around. I personally am not a fan of the census because I believe that they go around and they collect this information to then determine, that's how they determine the schools. That's how they can say schools are Title I schools are failing schools based off of census. That's how they know who's everyone in your house. So we need to look at DEI, as I said many times before, that it is not a federal job. We need to get the government and stop riding on the government to do everything for us, including determine what's going on in our communities, in our neighborhood. Black women can be successful and not go back and say, we'll have high unemployment rate because they're cutting out DEI. I just don't think that's realistic.
You don't think that's realistic? Well, why was DEI created anyway?
I believe it was created in a time when there was a need for diversity and inclusion, diversity, equity, and inclusion. I believe that we are the diversity when we show up and do what we already know how to do. We bring our own diversity. We don't need a section in government
But we're talking
and
about
places that we
jobs.
pay a person to be a DEI coordinator.
But we're talking about jobs. So if someone goes to school and they're the highest educated in this country right now, one would expect to get a job. So we're not talking about entrepreneurship because it takes time to grow a business. Ask anybody. It takes time, right? It doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
So you get a job. At least that's what you expect. But then you come out here and you're realizing, hey, I did all the things that I was to do, but yet I am not able to get a job. I'm not able to secure employment, and I'm not able to secure it for a long term, no matter what I'm giving it to it. I'm giving all myself. I'm giving all my mind. I'm giving all my heart, and yet I am not able to have a job or keep a job.
Yeah.
So when are we qualified, Willie?
The qualification needs to come when you go out and do what you need to do for yourself.
What do you mean?
Well,
She
this
literally
is,
just
I
said
just
that.
ran it down.
It's not depending on any one particular individual. Everyone has abilities to do for themselves. You have gifts and talents and callings within yourself. And when it does, is when a person
The mediocre does as well, but they're getting a job. Well, I don't, you know, that answer you have,
in a nice
that
way.
answer you have, well, then don't answer it. If you
Okay,
have to
well, fine.
work hard to
You
be
continue.
nice, don't answer it. Because I don't want you to have to break a sweat to be nice.
You asked me to ask a question.
I don't want you to have to break a sweat to be nice.
Right.
The
No sweat
problem
today.
is that women have worked hard. Black
Yes.
women have gone to school. Black women have done what they
all of the
needed to
things.
do to be right for that job, to be qualified, and yet still it's not enough.
Right.
Are you not the moderator today?
I'm not talking about me.
Point
I'm
closed.
talking about black
the
women
next
in
topic?
general.
And that doesn't really
You a
sound-
black man,
yeah,
and we've had private
this is a
conversations.
black
What was that
network.
point?
That's right.
That's what I'm
AFROTV.
saying. That
And
we
thank
are
God.
at an opportunity that if it was as you are saying that black women can't have it, we wouldn't be sitting at nobody's table, because even though we're at a black studio, it does not own the grounds and the
But
property.
we're talking about in general,
Well, you about
and
to
we're
piss me
talking
off.
about
I'm
a
being
number
serious.
of women, because back in April, we got numbers that 106,000 black women were jobless, lost their jobs. So this is like had jobs, don't have them now.
Yeah.
But who?
We're talking about-
This is what I'm asking you, because I am anti-government involvement. That's what the key you guys are missing. This is not talking about that it's not happening.
But aren't you involved in government?
For
Girl,
that
I'm
purpose.
just trying to figure out. And don't you work with
for
government in some
that
capacity?
purpose? Because government was
you want to be the
originally.
change.
Oh, so you're infiltrating the
Government-
government to defund the government. I get it. Okay, I like that.
Thank you. Government
Yeah.
government was
Okay.
originally created not to control. It was created to keep boundaries so that you could be in control. That's why the whole separation of church and state thing was wrong, because it's to keep the government from getting too powerful. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. When we have made the government what it is, now when it says the government's taking this away, now I don't have jobs. The government take this away, we don't have food. The government taking away, that's what I'm trying
So
to
you're
get
talking
out.
about DEI? Is that what the government
Anything
talking
that we
about?
go,
That we're
correct,
talking about
because
DEI.
the government is now saying, I'm going to pull this away.
DEI, as far as I know, was created to make sure that, to basically try to keep people honest, employers honest, rather than hiring mediocre and pretty much edging you out because of your skin color,
Right.
not your intelligence, because we know the intelligence is pretty up there. So we can't even say that. But we're
Let's be
talking
honest.
about
We've had
color,
D&I,
skin color.
we've had D&I.
That has not helped the black
We have
women
had
as much as it's
DEI
helped
in
everybody
place,
else.
and we still have had the same issues. That's what I'm saying. Like, DEI has not changed discrimination or prejudice on job forces.
No, it has not changed that, but it has allowed some people to get jobs more than it had
I don't
before,
see it, because
when it wasn't
I can
there.
tell you the reason I became who I am today in entrepreneurship in 2015 was because I was not provided the same opportunities as white people that was around me. I was part of organizations where they literally came to me and gave me a bullcrap position because I was rising up as a black Republican. And so I have been and have seen it for myself. So I'm not speaking because I don't want black women to survive. I'm telling you that the system, no matter what is in place, it's been done to me too. But I rose above that and said, I don't need your position and I don't need your DEI. I can be who I am by myself.
I don't think it's the fact that women aren't rising above it. I think it's the fact that we're talking about a system that's systemically racist, and we're talking about the facts that women are losing their jobs, black women.
Beat the system.
And this is what I'm saying. How
What
many
is that, write a
trillions?
letter?
$2 trillion our community puts into this system. Stop buying things from people who do not support you.
Said that. I've literally said
And I'm going to wrap on that. We have to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. Girlfriend's Guide is coming up right after this commercial break. You're watching POV.
What's up, social media family? Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Monday. I got a question. So hypothetically speaking, could you live overseas for a year if it meant leaving all your loved ones behind?
Absolutely.
I'm on the first
She
plane
didn't even let the question get out.
I'm on the first plane out. Let's go. My bags are
I'm serious.
already packed.
It's okay.
Yes. Oh my God.
The phone still works.
Right.
The phone works fine.
I can see you on FaceTime.
And I can, we can make something happen where I travel back and forth.
And you can come where I am. Look at that.
Exactly. You can come visit me.
You don't
Now
have
you got
to
a
be
reason
left
to come
here.
overseas.
All your loved ones behind. I don't think it leaves space for them to come. This is
At least the main
you
ones
Can you go
here
without
without
them?
them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I already told my mom.
Well, it said
about the
you left
Tyler. She
without
said,
them.
well, I ain't visiting you, so that's already
Uh-oh.
a question.
Well, it says you left without them. It didn't say they couldn't come visit you.
Yeah.
You just left without them.
Like they're not moving with you, but they could come visit.
Right.
Listen, I need me a
most
good little break, so I want to say yes, but
But to where?
I'm too family
We got enough
oriented
time
for
to answer
that.
that?
Good.
To where would you go?
to where would I don't know. I got so many things on my bucket list.
Italy for me.
Ooh. Nice. Heard it smells like pee over there.
Oh, I'm sure it doesn't smell like pee.
They say the Eiffel Tower smell like pee.
The Eiffel Tower? That's in France. That's Paris. It does not smell like pee.
Oh, girl.
I promise.
It's in Italy.
I have
Italy.
I have seen it. I have been up on it. It
Yeah?
has not smelled like pee.
Some guy made a TikTok and it was.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I
remember
think
that.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I just think that was just him.
He may have smelled
He
like
may have
pee.
been somewhere that was pissy.
Yeah.
Lord.
Oh, well, if y'all, would y'all go overseas for a year if it meant leaving your loved ones behind? Let us know in the comments. It was me rapping.
Welcome back. We get into it on those breaks. My goodness, they go by fast. This is the part of the show where we dive into all things love, life, relationships, and everything in between. Let's get into Girlfriend's Guide. Let's talk about colorism amongst us black people. Capital BLACK. Is colorism even still a thing in 2025?
Yes.
Or are we okay? Or are we holding y'all gonna let me finish? Or are y'all holding on to an issue that no longer holds the same weight? Do light-skinned privilege and dark-skinned bias still exist within the black community?
Yes.
In dating, in the workplace, in how we see ourselves and each other? Or have we evolved past it? Oh, why haven't we evolved past this? With all the things that come against us systemically, are we still doing this?
That's a good question.
That's all. That's all.
I was waiting for the. I feel it because I'm dark skinned and the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. But I do encounter colorism. I'm serious. I've seen it. I think I had this discussion, maybe with you, Raquel, or somebody, about how I grew up in high school. You thought, now that was back 20 years ago, so you thought it would have changed.
Right.
Because then you were picked on like, oh, blackie, blackie, blackie. But still today you can tell where there is that. And I wouldn't say it comes from light-skinned people necessarily, but you can tell where it's like, ooh, boy, you black. Like, you know, it's like that kind of thing. And then it's hard to find
boy, you
clothes and
black.
back.
No,
Look,
boy, you
don't
black.
do it too much. See, she already playing the
That is
colorism.
funny.
Then you can't
No.
find clothes that match and stuff because you got to match the tone and the complexion.
Oh, really?
It's a lot out here.
Oh, wow.
In this world. in the
What you
dark
think
skin
about
world.
this, Junie? What you think about this, Tally?
Well, they
I
light
definitely
skin.
think
I'm not light-skinned.
And then Tally thinks she a black woman anyway.
Yes, I am a black woman, baby. The blacker the bread, the sweeter the juice, honey. I don't know what's happening right now. I'm going through some changes. You know, I'm getting lighter over the
Tally
years.
is colorblind
But at
is
at
what
my
she
heart,
is.
At my heart, this is not my color. I do not identify with the light-skinned black woman.
I would
think
just,
you're having an
I would
identity
just,
crisis.
I would think we just need to identify, if anything, if any color, just being people of color, black, if that's what it is, people of color.
Yeah.
You know, because I am not understanding why are we still here when there's so much against us as a community of people. We have to decide at some point to come together. Dark skin, I don't care if you black, blue. I mean, I don't care if you light, white. Look, we have to come together. And we have to support each other and stop this colorism stuff because we're buying into foolishness that someone created for us. This is not our own thing, and yet we're still running with it. It's ridiculous.
I think we do it to ourselves, though.
I think it was done.
I think it was established, and we're running with it.
Exactly. I think that's what happened too. But as you were talking, you know, the question popped into my head, thinking about some of the greats who fought, you know, in previous years back in the day, you know, to end this and to unify the black race. Like, who would we say is that person now? Like,
Right.
Who would we say, you know, stands up and takes that job now to kind of like help unify us?
I think it was actually back to what y'all said. I think it was when you start seeing how they will let certain people who were lighter pass as white. And I think to what you were saying, Raquel, about how we took that on as being like, well, you know, because my mother grew up with this, and we grew up, I thought she was white, but she wasn't. But to us, because we was told that she looked white, but she was actually black. She was just I don't know how to explain. Her hair was, that silky like white, but she was black, and so that changed my perspective of like, we come in different hues, but then to Natalia's point, we do need to have a revolution for our people today. Like we need to be, revolutionizing
Unified.
that.
Yeah, for a revolution to unify us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I
take
think
the government over.
I remember my daughter, she's 8 now, but when she was 3, she was going to this, black home daycare. They were so amazing. And so Black History Month, they had like each kid do like a skit or a speech, for like some black influential person from back in the day. And so she was Sarah Rector. And so I remember yesterday I saw like, someone on one of those like kind of fan pages where they'll post like, Black history stuff. And so I, learned a new fact about Sarah Rector yesterday. And, at age 11, 12, she became the richest, black person in America. But because she had so much money in that time, they changed her legal ethnicity to white. You know what I'm saying? And so, with us talking about colorism and things like that, I think that is almost like, goes down to the core of how we have been programmed this way. So much so that when a black young girl was a multimillionaire, they decided that we can't even let them think that black people are able to have this much money. And I mean, this lady was black as night. And they still decided to call her white just to try to, create that narrative.
Wow.
Yeah, so I wish and I pray, even with myself, and when I say, I don't identify as a light-skinned woman, I think that maybe there is a flaw in me saying that, but it's also because of the narrative that so commonly light-skinned women take and to try to use as their advantage. I don't identify with that.
I just got a recommendation. If y'all can go to DC and go to the Black Museum, you would see.
You gonna take us?
Yeah, sure. We'll go to bring the cameras too. So but it is actually a lot of historical facts about what you're talking about what they did and how they changed our identities, and it takes you through that and stuff. So
and it's great going to the museum, but we can also read. I mean, there's so much we can read about ourselves. I mean, from the Word of God. I mean, from different history, maybe outside of, our normal and common textbooks in school. There is so much we can learn. And when we get rid of the perspective that we've been given about ourselves, the perspective that we learned in school, because it's given to you and we adopt it because we truly believe, at least we used to, that people who are teaching us may know. But what they know is a system that tells them what to teach you. That's what they know. And we are going to have to decide for ourselves to learn about who we are, learn about how great we are, and really stand on that. Because if we don't do it, we can't expect anybody else to respect it. They may not, but we have to respect it, and we have to respect it by coming together and saying, hey, it doesn't matter light, bright, dark. It doesn't matter because we're all still the same. We're in the same boat. We're in the same world, and we need to move together. And I think right now, this is probably the time to really start doing it because there's a lot going on and a lot is changing for us at this time.
I love that. And my only hope is that as people are, quote unquote, doing their own research and learning about themselves, is that they draw a line between making their ancestors and the ones that have went before us gods. That's all I have to say.
Oh, no, because there's only one.
Get a good Hebrew Bible for us people to.
That is good, yes.
Or that TS 2009 on your phone.
TS
You're
2009. I saw one this weekend too, but I can't remember what it was called. I know it's like purple or blue or something.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that is, I read in the Hebrew Bible, and that really would culturally get you where you.
Oh, I think I like that.
Yeah.
Culture gets you.
Yeah, you need.
That's right. We need to know, man. We can't keep relying on everyone else telling us. All right. We're going to move on to our final segment of the day. Let's get into unpopular opinion. Y'all hear that? I told Willie he finally said something. Okay. When a woman shows a little skin or wears something sexy, is she just expressing herself or setting herself up to be judged? Some say dress how you want to be addressed, while others argue It's not about the outfit. It's about the mindset of the man. So here's the real question. Should women be changing how they dress, or should men be changing how they think?
Who in the world thinks that we're getting dressed for men?
Oh, okay, well, now that's a good point.
Who?
That's a
Who
good
thinks
point.
that we're going outside getting dressed for men or getting dressed for men, period? That's crazy. Like, I get dressed and I dress sexy sometimes, and sometimes I dress modest. You know, and I'm not getting dressed every day thinking like, oh my God, would a man like this? I'm not doing that. I get dressed and I wear what I want to wear, whether it's sexy or, you know, modest, because it's what I like.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like, I'm not thinking about anybody else when I'm putting my clothes on.
I think there needs to be a medium between women need to dress a little bit more appropriately, and men need to also control their thoughts.
That's what I was gonna say.
For sure. And, you know, I'm so happy now to like have, you know, been older and have evolved. And it's really about that evolution and that growth, because I know a lot of people that are my same age, and I mean, they be letting it all hang out. And I do believe that fashion should be a form of expression, but I also feel like what you're expressing sometimes is leaking out to how you really view yourself. And I don't know if, like, some people just don't mind, like, looking like a whole slut.
Oh, did you say it? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like,
I won't repeat it.
I took my show on the road yesterday. I had to step out the house for 5 little minutes, and I'm just like, oh my God. Like, you know, and I think sometimes as women, when we want to be sexy, we don't know how it looks to not just other people caring about their opinion, but we don't have that outside eyes. Like, I remember like a couple years ago, I used to wear these lashes that I wanted you to see me coming from I-4. And then one day, literally, and one day I think it was like one of my sisters, and she's like, girl, you look like you got a dolphin fin on your eye. And it allowed me to have that out-of-body experience and look at myself from her point of view. And baby, that was the last day I ever wore them lashes. Sometimes people need to know how they really look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How someone else may see you.
Yeah.
At least, and definitely someone that you respect. All right, well, y'all, that's the end of the show today. We got to talk about, we missed the topic, but we're going to talk about it hopefully tomorrow. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll catch you next time right here on POV, only on Afro TV. See you next time.